What do Chadwick Boseman, Takeoff, and Prince all have in common? None of these artists had a will when they died. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Maoli Vodi with Financially Present, your one-stop shop for financial and investment education. And today we're going to talk about something that to me is starting to seem too common. It's not being prepared for the afterlife in this current life. So there are a lot of people who are looking to build wealth, but they're not understanding the part about passing it on. And whether it's a celebrity or a regular average person like yourself and myself, there are certain things people are not putting in place. They are very easy, very low cost, and they can avoid a lot of heartache. Making money and investing is one aspect of building, but transferring it, making sure that it stays within your lineage or that your dreams and wishes are carried out even after you leave this earth, like that's the next level. And sometimes the ball just gets dropped. So with actor Chadwick Boseman, artist Takeoff, with Prince, there's also other artists. Consider Jimi Hendrix or Bob Marley, or even the king of pop, Michael Jackson. All of these people passed away without a will or a trust. So why weren't they surrounded by proper counsel or people that helped them with these things? They created art and music and all of these different things, and they have an even more incentivized reason to have things like a will or a trust in place. So for people who are artists, I think it's extremely important that you have some of these documents in place, a will or even a trust. That's more on the sophisticated side or expensive side. But if you're a lawyer or agent, I'd love to know in the comments below why some of this slips through the cracks or why this doesn't happen. I think some of it is just they may not be surrounded by people who are already doing it and people who are helping them in that capacity. I think it is extremely hard for people when they become celebrities to have deeper relationships. Some of the relationships around them may be superficial and not as deep, where they talk about some of these business endeavors or personal finance, right? And they just may think they're invincible or something. I don't know, but ultimately, these are very easy things that can be done, especially when we're talking about people with millions and millions and millions of dollars. So people like us, where we're just regular average Joes, these are things we can implement no problem. We can have a will, we can have a trust. I've had a will for almost 3 years, and I'm not a millionaire like these rap artists or these musicians or actors, but at the end of the day, when something happens to me, it will pass on to those that I love. Look, when you die, your estate will go through probate. That happens to everyone, okay? But the process, the probate process, is much shorter if you have something as simple as a will. It's like essentially a $200 to $300 document that can just state that you want things to happen in this specific order. And if you have assets that are designated by beneficiary, those items don't even have to worry about the probate process. Okay, they go directly to those beneficiaries. If you have a spouse and you live in a specific state, a lot of times those assets go directly to that spouse, and then from there, it's up to them. Or if you don't have a spouse, it may go to next of kin, so any of your closest relatives, right? But if you do not determine the designation of these assets, then the local court system or the state's rules are what's going to overrule anything else. They direct those assets, and there's a fee that's going to be charged by the court for having to do that process. There are a few different ways you can do this. You can contact a lawyer and have a will written up. You can use LegalZoom.com, and they have templates you can use. You can write it up, and you can add any additional caveats that would apply to your situation, like whether you're married or not, or if something were to happen during this circumstance, or how you want these assets to be divvied up. All of this can be determined. The assets that you really need to be able to discuss, especially in your will, are things like your property, things that you own, like your home, or items and assets that you've created. And if you're an artist, this is especially important for you because depending on the type of art, there may be royalties involved that can be paid perpetually to your lineage. So if I am this amazing musician and I get paid for every play or recognition of my songs, that money can go towards, my lineage and help support them going forward. So if you're an artist, whether it's physical art or digital or things of that nature, I think it's important to spend a couple $100 to at least have this laid out in place. And you can always update this information. You can update your will as regularly as you need to. If you have things like Legal Shield, that makes it even easier as well, where you have essentially a lawyer on retainer and they will do an annual review on your will. So those are things to think about, and they're really easy. And you've worked so hard. Why just leave it up to chance? Take care of these basic things. If this video was helpful for you, I want you to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the page, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on future content. And until next time, stay present.